our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingerman.
Welcome to another edition of the Focus program. Paul Dingerman here. We've got an interesting show. We've got the bell ringers who are going to be at Neiman's Family Market in the next week or two. Are going to be here to talk to us about raising money for the Salvation Army. And then Lisa Fountain will be along, talk about wreaths across America. Let's say hello to Major Wes Dalberg. Nice to see you. Welcome back to the Focus show. And you brought your driver, Jerry Mason. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And his Jaguar. You don't have that Jaguar anymore.
No, I got two Benzes. I just picked up another one. I need them.
Gentlemen, nice to see you.
Car show. We need them for the car show.
Car show.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. Jerry, you are involved with the St. Clair Rotary Club. The Major, we know what he's involved in. And he's got a uniform to prove it. But talk to me about how the two organizations got together for a great project.
That's actually a great question, and you've never asked me that question over the years. There is a very long history of Rotary and the Salvation Army working together. And in fact, for our club, and we'll be going into our 100th year, when we look back through St. Clair Rotary Club records, as far back as we could find, we've been involved with the Salvation Army, ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. And so we've had this great overlap and close working relationship between Rotary and Salvation Army. And it especially becomes very important this time of year when we join with the Salvation Army to lead a bell ringing effort to help the community. All proceeds will stay in the community and help St. Clair County citizens who are in need at Christmas.
When are you going to do the bell ringing?
Thanks for asking. We're going to go the first 2 weekends in December, which is what we typically do. We take, so we'll start Thursday, December 1st, go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then the following weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we will start at 10 a.m., ring till 8 p.m. at Neiman's Family Market.
Oh, okay. Neiman's Family Market.
Free hot chocolate for bell ringers.
All right. Very good. Major, how important is this bell ringing effort?
It is vital to the Salvation Army, and it's vital to our community because we have a great number of people in need, and the Salvation Army this time of year helps people with food and clothing and toys, gifts for their children during the holiday season. And so if the Salvation Army wasn't doing those things, then those people would have to go somewhere else and find a way to provide for their families.
You probably see over the years swings in people needing food, needing support, and then the economy gets better, the economy gets worse, right. Things happen in neighborhoods and businesses and stuff. How are we doing in St. Clair County?
Well, this year it appears just from the numbers that we've taken in so far, people applying for assistance is up from last year.
Really?
Yes. So whether it's
that's interesting because the unemployment is down. People are working, but you still see the rising needs.
Still having an increase in the number of people looking for assistance.
Wow.
And it's easy to explain. The cost of gasoline's gone up 50%, food's gone up 40%, but people's income hasn't gone up.
The same.
Yeah, so what we see now is folks have to decide between eating and putting gas in their car to go to work. Most people want to work. So a lot of the people we serve are working poor, are people that have gotten hit hard by this inflation. They want to work, they want to help themselves, and they just needed a little additional help while things are tough right now, or they need help getting through Christmas.
Okay, so you're going to be at Neiman's on 2 weekends. Who do you get to ring the bell?
Great question. It's exciting. As you know, the St. Clair Sheriff's Department has been ringing with us for many, many years, probably going on 20 years now.
Does it intimidate people when somebody has a gun on their waist to give more money?
You know, that is a great question. I think that people love to see the police, the sheriff's deputies out there. I think it's a fun way for for the citizenry and the sheriff's department to interact in a real positive, feel-good way.
Well, I agree with you there, because normally people only see a sheriff in a car driving by, or if they pull you over for a ticket. And this is a way for people to communicate one-on-one with a police officer on a friendly basis.
Well, police care about people.
Yeah.
They do. Nobody goes into police work for the money, I can tell you that.
Right, that's
It's
correct.
a hard, and they don't go in it because it's a stress-free job. They do it because they care about people,
Yeah.
and they want to make their community a better place.
Right.
And we're blessed with a great sheriff's department. And of course, we've got the prosecutor's office. I was thinking about this. Mike Wendling, the St. Clair County prosecutor, actually would come and ring with our Rotary Club on
Yep.
his own. And the chief assistant prosecutor, Steve Gilliott, of course, is a Rotary member,
Yep.
and like me, a Salvation Army board member. So we will have, once again, the St. Clair County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. And then we pick up the St. Clair Run Club, the running club from
Tom
St.
Brenner.
Clair. They ring with us every year. They can run in place if they want, but they'll ring with us. And then the other thing we get that's really cool are the kids from St. Clair High School. In the middle school, I got a call from Amy Walton, who said the Junior National Honor Society students, there's 59 of them.
Wow.
They need volunteer hours, so we're going to have them back. Mr. Volz will
Yep.
be sending band members out. He seems to manage to do that every season. And then we'll get high school honor students as well. So it's really a community event.
It is a community
Yeah,
event.
we all come together to support the Salvation Army, to give back to our community. And I'm always proud of this. The major has said it over the years, 87 cents on every dollar donated will stay directly in this community and help people in need. We'll be able to make sure that kids get Christmas, bikes, toys. What did we do, 1,200 kids last Christmas?
We did, I think, maybe slightly more than 1,200, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
usually
wonderful.
between 12 and 1,300. And with families, corresponding families, so we might hit 700 families,
Yeah.
1,200 kids. And distribution day at the Salvation Army, Paul, you should come. It's an amazing operation. It's if anybody wants to know how Santa Claus does it, just come on up and see us on distribution day. It's a little more focused towards Jesus, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
And there'll be bikes and gifts and food. The young Marines come and hand out turkeys and everything. So it's really the Army's been in St. Clair County, I think, for 136 years, or is it 137 now?
Pretty close. One or the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't here in the original,
No.
Jerry was.
Yeah.
Jerry was on the board then too.
That was a much younger me.
That's right. You had longer hair.
I did. I actually had hair back then.
Talk to me about the orchestra, the Salvation Army
band.
Have you got music this year?
We do. We had COVID,
Yeah.
this COVID thing going on, and we couldn't meet in big groups like that. So we had a couple of years when people couldn't come.
Right.
So we were playing on the internet. And
Right.
believe me, it's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
Well, we're back, and so people can come on the second Sunday of December, which I believe is the 11th.
I believe it is.
And at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the Salvation Army, 2000 Court Street. And they can hear a great musical program.
Wonderful.
There'll be a chance to sing along with some
Oh,
carols and
wonderful.
Christmas songs.
Wonderful.
And it's just a really nice time to gather as a community
Yeah,
and celebrate our freedoms to gather like that. And to
the music is always so wonderful from that orchestra. It's just so great.
It sounds like Christmas, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
When
it really
you-
does. It does, Jerry.
I think, what do we call it?
does.
Our carol sing? Isn't that what we call it?
Yep, it's the community carol sing.
It's just
You don't
great.
let Jerry sing, though.
Well, he's
Be loud
usually
and
in the
off-key.
balcony.
I sit in the balcony.
Oh, good.
They've
He rings
relegated
the-
me to
he
the balcony.
rings the bell.
I am good at bell ringing.
Good.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's review when the St. Clair Rotary is going to be at Neiman's. Give us those dates again.
Yeah, sure. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd from
Okay.
10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then we'll go the following weekend, which I think is the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be out there ringing, singing, bands.
If
Come
you
on
want,
out.
it's important for the St. Clair Rotary that people drop their checks or their donations into the bucket at Neiman's, not necessarily go online and do it there, correct?
Yeah, we like to get the donations in the kettle. It's just a tradition. It also helps us coordinate with the Army so we can keep track.
Yeah.
If people choose they want to mail their check in, they're not going to be in town, they can get a hold of us, we'll pick it up. They can put Rotary bell ringing, St. Clair Rotary bell ringing in the memo. Otherwise, I would say come on out to Neiman's, have a hot chocolate, put your check in the kettle and visit with us. We'd love to see you.
Okay. Did we miss anything, gentlemen?
No, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to both of you. Jerry, always good to see you.
Good to see you.
Major, always a pleasure to see you. You can come down anytime without him.
Okay, we'll do that.
He came down on a sleigh, by the way.
Oh, good.
Oh, oh, oh.
Ho, ho, ho. Wow. We better get out of here right now. Hey, stay tuned because Lisa Fountain will be right along. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to the second segment of this edition of the Focus program. My name is Paul Dingerman, and I am going to introduce you to Lisa Fountain, a great lady here in St. Clair County who does so many wonderful things, in just a minute. But first, I want to show you a commercial about the organization that she's involved with, and it's called Wreaths Across America. Let's watch.
The biggest fear Gold Star families have that their child will be forgotten.
Remember.
Honor. Teach.
They served their country and they served their country honorably. They always put others before themselves. We need to teach our children that.
Join us on Saturday, December 17th for National Wreaths Across America Day. To find a location in your community, visit wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Commercial and a wonderful organization. Lisa Fountain, welcome back to the Focus Show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
You and I met, in fact, I remember it was at a funeral. I think for Chief Boda.
Might have been, yeah.
And you said to me, hey, I got this idea about putting wreaths on graves at Christmas time. And we got together and we've been meeting ever since, a number of years. So tell me what's going on.
Well, first of all, this is my 15th year. In the 15th year, we've had a ceremony in St. Clair County. We are currently the only cemetery in St. Clair County. And again, our 15th year. Last year, we finally added, which had always been a goal, Allied Vet Cemetery, which is a military-only cemetery in Port Huron. Last year, we finally had gotten enough consistent support that I registered and added Lakeside Cemetery. So we went from
Lakeside too.
Lakeside too. So we went from needing about 900 wreaths to about 3,400 wreaths to be able to take care of every veteran in those two cemeteries.
Wow.
And the volunteerism is growing every year. We get more and more people to come and help out. I can't say enough positive things about the superintendent of the cemetery up there. They and their staff are fantastic. We've got great community support from the Marine Corps League in Port Huron, Women's Life, and all the veterans organizations and funeral homes and citizens in the county.
You told me before we started that you had a wonderful experience to go to where Wreaths Across America started, which is up in Maine.
Yes, sir.
It was a great story. It was a fellow that had a Christmas tree farm, and he was making wreaths, and he had some extra. And tell me the story.
Yeah, Morrow Worcester owns Worcester Wreath Company, and in 1992, they discovered they had about 5,000 too many wreaths, and they just didn't want to throw them away.
5,000.
5,000. And they didn't want to throw them away, so he remembered when he went to Arlington Cemetery in Washington, D.C. when he was about 12 years old as a paper boy. So he called up his state senator and said, hey, can we work something out? They worked it out, and they, as just a family, in one semi-truck, took all the wreaths down, and they quietly did that until about 2005, 2006, and a Department of Defense Air Force photographer went out and took some pictures, and that picture is what is now the famous picture that took it into a whole new realm, and it became nationally known and even worldwide. And since that day, they created a nonprofit because they got so many requests. We want to do this. And they created a nonprofit, and it's just grown leaps and bounds. It costs $15 to sponsor a wreath.
Okay.
Anybody can sponsor a wreath.
Okay.
And you can designate what cemetery it goes to. As of last check, I think we're over 3,000 cemeteries in the nation. And
You do it all on the 17th of December?
I do, because I can do it at Lakeside and Allied, I can. There are some cemeteries that they're so big they do have to drag it out.
Okay.
But it all starts on the 17th. And for us, it's rain, hail, sleet, or snow.
Right.
I tell everybody, the veterans that served, they
That's
suffered
right.
in
Right.
desert and
Right.
wet and cold.
Yeah.
We can suffer for an hour and a half to take care of it.
That's right. That's right.
And it's just, it's an absolute honor to be able to take this time just to remember them. These aren't Christmas wreaths, these are remembrance wreaths. These are wreaths to remember those who served. And one of the big things is with Wreaths Across America is to say their name. Take a wreath,
Yes.
go to lay it on the grave, and say out loud their name, because you die twice.
Mm-hmm.
You die when your heart stops beating, and you die when nobody says your name anymore.
That's quite a statement there, when you die twice. I mean,
Yep.
I hadn't heard that before till I saw that commercial we just saw. What a statement that is. You
That's
die
how we
twice.
keep everybody alive. We keep our
Right.
memories alive.
Right. Right.
Yep.
You said $15
Yes,
per
sir.
wreath.
Yep.
How do I get the $15 to the St. Clair County Wreaths Across
You
America?
can contact me, or if you go on the Wreaths Across America website, you need to specify Allied Veterans or Lakeside Cemetery.
Port Huron.
For Port Huron.
Okay.
Or you can get with me, and then I can make sure it's done.
How do we get with you?
You can email me at found, FOUNT, LISA, 1776 at protonmail.com.
Fount, F-O-U-N-T, at
Nope, Lisa.
Lisa.
Sorry, found Lisa 1776 at protonmail.com.
Okay. Okay.
And we can make sure it gets taken care of. We need all wreath orders in for 2022. Need them to me by the 29th of November.
Okay.
And then our count starts again. We start fresh.
Okay.
But I'm taking sponsorships year round. And another thing we started last year, is we flag people. And let's say you sponsor a wreath and you say, can you flag my neighbor? And at no charge to you, we go and put a whole bunch of flags and a sign that says you've been flagged, and we put them in your neighbor's yard, or your family member, and hoping that they'll see it. Maybe they'll sponsor a wreath and they'll flag another friend, but at the very least, people are stopping and asking, what's that all about?
Right.
And it's a promotional
Curiosity.
aspect. Yep. But if we can get an extra wreath out of it, I'll take an extra wreath any day of the week. And then another thing we do that we only do in St. Clair County, we have challenge coins. And these are cemetery specific. And to get a challenge coin, it costs you $20, and you got to find me to do it. There's only 100 of them made. This is our 5th year doing it. It costs you $20. It gets you a wreath and a coin. And once those 100 are gone, they're gone. And all those coins were paid for and sponsored by 3 separate veterans organizations in the county.
They're wonderful. They're
and-
beautiful. Very heavy.
And 100% of the sales
Oh.
of that goes back to Wreaths Across America.
Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Volunteers. You need them too.
Always. We always need volunteers.
Same address.
Allied Vet Cemetery. That's where we do the ceremony at Allied Vets Cemetery. And then we'll take care of lay the wreaths at Allied Vets, and then we'll go over to Lakeside and we'll lay them there. But we're just doing one ceremony at Allied Vets.
If I need to get a hold of you, ask questions about the volunteerism.
You don't have to, you can just show up.
Oh,
Just
okay.
show up. The ceremony is 12 noon sharp, or as sharp as I can get it at noon, on December 17th. Weather doesn't matter. And I would highly suggest getting there by at least 11:30.
Okay.
Because it is starting to get
Starts
crowded.
at 12.
Yeah, so we start at 12, and I encourage everybody to bring youth. We need the kids, we need the youth to understand what service and sacrifice was. And I always include youth in presenting the ceremonial wreaths for each of the branches. It's very important that I partner a veteran with that youth, so maybe they can get a taste of something and they'll remember it one day. And it brings the two generations together.
That's right. That's right.
And it's important. So we do that. We're always looking for a merchant marine to carry the merchant marine flag or wreath, ceremonial wreath. And if by any chance there's anybody related to the Space Force, I need a Space Force,
right.
because they are part of DOD, and we
Right.
do represent the Space Force with these wreaths.
Okay.
We
Very
added
good.
them, I think, last year.
Okay. And how many total wreaths did you put out last year?
Just over 2,000.
You put out 2,000?
We as an organization,
Okay.
with lots of volunteers, and
Acro-
we had to go pre-stake Lakeside, which means we went out the week before and we had to put stakes in the ground so people knew where they were, where to go, because there are certain ways to make sure that we get on a veteran's grave. This year we only have about 1,000 wreaths. We need more wreaths. We're light this year. So
But that was in St. Clair County you did 2,000.
strictly in St. Clair, just in Lakeside and Allied Vet Cemetery,
How many across the country?
like 2.5 million.
Oh my God, that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, and it grows every year. More and more. It's amazing how many veterans. I come across one or two veterans and or their family members a year, and I say, "Have you heard about Wreaths Across America?"
No.
What's that? And then I tell them, and it's all.
That's
word
why I
of
have
mouth.
you back every year. 'Cause
Yeah.
People don't know.
People don't know. I mean, we're trying, but you can only do so much, and that's one of the reasons why with these challenge coins, my hope is somebody will have it in a pocket and they'll take it out and they'll say, "Hey, look what I got."
Yeah,
It's advertising. It's word of mouth.
that's right.
So I just keep trying to spread the word.
Okay. Lisa Fountain is her name. She does wonderful work for Wreaths Across America. Been doing it about 15 years.
Yep.
So how big was the farm you told me? Up in Maine?
Morrill Worcester owns 65,000 acres
65,000
Acres of
in
land.
Maine.
and he called it work. He has 15,000 workable acres, which means 15,000 acres of trees that go to make Wreaths Across America. And they don't cut down trees; they literally tip them, and they just cut the tips off, and they rotate every 3 years. They go to a section, they just cut the tips off, and then they move to another section. So we're not destroying any trees, and it's actually healthy for them to be tipped.
Trimmed.
Yeah,
They grow more.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And he's a great guy. He's such an
They
incredibly
flew
humble
you
man.
up there,
Yes, sir. Yep.
and you spent a week or
It's just a long weekend.
long weekend.
I was one of the first 5 people that got to go. I've been one of the longest, if not the longest, location coordinator. And I don't give my representative any grief other than teaser and stuff like that. And I had the incredible honor of being flown up there
absolutely.
and spending time. And I had my very first Maine lobster dinner and had to crack the lobster. I'd
The
never
shell?
done that before, so that was an interesting new experience. Did a 5K.
What year was it?
It was August, first weekend of August. And it's called Stem to Stone. And the other thing they do, and you can go online and do this, go to wreathsacrossamerica.org,
All right.
and you can have a dog tag made of your family member. And either you can go up to Maine and put it on a remembrance tree, or you can ask them to do it, and then it'll be your tree. And it goes on the trees that they tip. And when I went, I was able to place 3. I keep my grandfather's brother alive, continue to say his name. He died 9/11/44 in Wies, Belgium. And Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and I keep his name alive, and I had a couple other people. There was a local
Wonderful.
volunteer that comes to Wreaths Across America. He died the week I was leaving. And I had one made for him when I went up there.
That's wonderful, wonderful work.
So it's anything they can do to keep all memories, of service members alive. There's lots of different programs.
Wreaths Across America, December the 17th at Port Huron Allied Veterans Cemetery and show up at noon.
No, show up at 11:30. We're starting
11:30.
at noon.
Yeah, okay, show up at 11:30.
Yep.
Because at noon it's going to be, and it'll only be a half hour, an hour.
A half hour just for the ceremony because it gets mighty cold.
Okay.
And then however long it takes to lay the wreaths.
Okay.
Yeah.
There she is, Lisa Fountain. She'll be back next year with the same story because it's a great story. Let's run that second commercial now, and then I'll come back and say goodbye.
We have a saying here that you die twice. First when you stop breathing, and the second time when your name is spoken for the very last time.
Wreaths Across America is an organization that is like no other.
Edward D. Fogman.
It almost touches every person in the United States at some level.
Wreaths Across America at this point has become an incredible opportunity to teach what we are as Americans and what constitutes the goodness in this country.
It's important to teach not just kids, but everybody.
My ultimate goal is to place a wreath on every single American veteran's grave, regardless of where it is.
You need to never forget, freedom wasn't free.
The foundation of this country was built on the lives of those men and women that we choose to honor.
Well, that's your invitation to join Lisa Fountain and the rest of the volunteers Saturday, December 17th at Lakeside Park and at the Allied Veterans Cemetery, and participate in the Wreaths Across America. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, Paul Dingaman here. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingaman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.